No score. The Rockies had a couple of guys on in that bottom of the second, but Ian Stewart bounced into a double play. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. Joe DiMaggio, you always get a special kick on opening day no matter how many you go through. You look forward to it like a birthday party when you're a kid. You think something wonderful is going to happen. And the Rockies have had many wonderful moments, particularly here at Coors Field. They've had 3 walk-off wins, 95 of course in extra innings when Dante Bichette hit one out. I'll never forget 2005 when a rookie by the name of Clint Barmas hit one out against Trevor Hoffman to beat these Padres. Nick Hundley takes strike one. Nick Hundley, for a while, prepped at Fairview High School while his dad was an assistant football coach under Rick Neuheisel in Boulder, and his dad still works for Rick Neuheisel, working out at UCLA now. And that's in there also. 0-2 on Hundley.
Yeah, a couple of painted fastballs, very good pitches. De La Rosa last year averaged 9.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. That led the Rockies, and it was 8th in the National League. Outside corner, heat right where you like it at 94 miles an hour.
Try to hit that.
There's the changeup in the dirt, 1-2. And when he gets ahead of you, there's so many ways he can put you away. Obviously, it's hard to hit 95, 96, but he has the super changeup and then his repertoire breaking pitches.
Well, that's where, as a catcher, you look up at the hitter and go, well, what do you think? Should we give you the slider? Nah, let's go curveball. Nah, you know, maybe changeup. Because hitters are thinking the same thing. I'm behind in the count 1-2. What's he going to give me? What's he going to offer to me to try to get me out?
If you don't sit on that 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, though, it'll be awful difficult.
Well, there's the changeup, and that's strikeout number 3 for De La Rosa, who averaged more than a strikeout per inning pitched a year ago.
Well, you look on the forward strike zone, you'll see that this ball's a changeup, but yet it had the movement of a slow slider because he got to the side of it.
Let's take a look at the Breaks Plus Take a Break poll of the game. And text your answer to 95323. Would you skip work to go to opening day at Coors Field? If this is anything but 100%, I'll be shocked. Rocks won for absolutely. That's a strike.
Well, the only guy that's not
Everett
there.
Cabrera. Oh, real quick, George. Text Rocks. Oh, Rocks 2 for note. My boss would kill me. And as always, you get a $14.99 oil change and filter for most vehicles in April only, or you get $50. Throw that graphic up again, Mike, if you could, in the truck. Get that $50 read in there as well. You get $50 off mileage maintenance service over $100. That's a great deal from Breaks Plus. 1-1 on the kid from Nicaragua, Everett Cabrera. What a good-looking young player he is.
I really struggled at Coors Field against his former ball club. 1 for 14 in his career here. Probably trying to press a little bit to impress the folks on the 3rd floor here, but wishes he was still a part of this. The Padres did a good job scouting all the way down to Asheville in low A, and saw this young man, took him in a Rule 5 draft.
What a good break for him, because he wasn't going to play shortstop here.
No, but you know what, Jeff? They say as an athlete he could play second. He was very, very fluid, so, you know, a guy that can really fly.
I'll tell you a story about that. That's fouled off. Richie Dower, one of the many people in the Rockies organization who had their hands on a young Everett Cabrera. And I was talking to Cabrera earlier today, and he said he gives Richie a ton of credit for helping mold him as a shortstop, because a lot of folks wanted him to play second because he could hit and he's a strong kid. And he said, I want to be a shortstop. And Dower said, all right, well then let's go. And Richie helped him immensely. He also mentioned Joe Michaluk, who's the longtime skipper in Asheville. And that was the last full season he played, George. He played in Asheville.
In the minor leagues.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And again, that was all before that guy out at shortstop showed up in a Rockies uniform. Troy Tulowitzki, but yet he wanted to try to battle that through that. Another strikeout. That's 4 on the day.
And 3 in a row. That'll bring up the former Wolverine, Clayton Richard.
Well, on the forward strike zone, you're going to see a big slider that comes so far out of the backside of the ballpark that it goes into the corner on it. One thing he's been able to do is utilized everything. And that's something that puts into the hitter's mind, Jeff. I know that as you're sitting in that dugout. You try to eliminate pitches he can throw for strikes. Right now, you can't eliminate anything.
And what I like from that 4 strike zone too, what we were able to see is how many pitches were up in the middle of the zone and also working down. So changing eye level as well as pitch location and speed.
Clayton Richard fouls it off. So we mentioned that Richard was a backup quarterback at Michigan. His career numbers, he was 8 of 15, 52 yards. So he didn't get a lot of run. That came in 2004, but you get an idea just how good an athlete this kid is.
Still the Big Ten.
Hey, you know what?
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Seth Smith. They say, oh, he's a backup to Eli Manning. Well, Eli Manning's one of the best quarterbacks in the business. No shame in being a backup. But somebody wanted you to play SEC football.
That's right. I mean, that just shows you how good an athlete he is. And even if he only got, what, 15 attempts, still 15 attempts more than a lot of other guys.
Look, 3-1. And as we all know, traditionally, Michigan has some outstanding quarterbacks. Let's show you the Rockies coaching staff graphically. No changes on the staff from a year ago. Tommy Runnels sits next to Jim Tracy. Bob Apodaca is the pitching coach. He's been in that position for a long time. Don Baylor in his second year as a hitting coach, the former skipper. Richie Dowers at third base. He works with the infielders. Glenn Allen Hill works with the outfielders and assists Don Baylor with the hitters and works first base. Jim Wright's out in the bullpen. Mark Strittmatter works with the catchers and is also the bullpen catcher. He's been with the organization a long time. There's Jimmy Wright.
Hey, Tom, real quick, Drew, Tommy Runnels wanted me to give a shout out to his dad, Dr. Bob Runnels, who's recovering from some health issues up in Greeley. So best wishes to TR's dad.
You bet. And that miss. So the first base runner is the pitcher, Clayton Richard, as he walks on a 3-2 pitch. It was 8 up and 8 set down until that delivery. So that'll bring up Jerry Hairston. He grounded to third to begin the ball game. Concentration lapse, George?
Yeah, a little bit. I think he got frustrated when he fell to 3-1 count. Then he fouled the ball off, and you just try to throw the ball a little bit harder, start to press. And I think for De La Rosa right now is to go back after the top of this order. Don't create a 2-out mistake into a giant mistake.
Helton will play behind Richard. Give himself another couple of steps of room. Pitcher's not going anywhere, particularly with a left-hander. 0-1 on Jerry Hairston. I think I mentioned it earlier. 4 years the senior of Scott Hairston, and what a thrill for these two guys. They'd never played together save a couple of weeks playing for Team USA during the World Baseball Classic. Other than that, because of the age separation, they'd never been on the same team before.
Well, it's kind of like Adrian Gonzalez and Edgar Gonzalez were able to play together for a couple years with the Padres. Now Edgar's over in Japan. Same situation though, an opportunity to play at the big league level and be around your brother every single day. That's pretty special.
Absolutely. Edgar, by the way, is with the Tokyo Giants. There's Scott. Good job by Miguel Olivo, 1-2. And of course they grew up in the game. There's 3 generations now of Hairston's phrase that have played at the big league level.
They are, and I mean when it's in the family like this, it's just it's kind of a neat deal that all the brothers can get together. They're playing on this one ball club together. You have the time for mom, dad, I mean it's a win-win situation.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. So De La Rosa with his 5th punch out ends up getting the side. Richard walked. He's left at first, middle of 3, no score at Coors Field. The home opener, 2010.